Traders, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to make this video very quick, fast, and to the point. The daily watch list going into tomorrow. These are my top 3 picks going into tomorrow and potentially the week for the best gains going in. Now, I don't recommend blindly following them. Do your own DD and verify them for yourself, but let's jump right into the charts. Let's get to it. So the first one we're looking at is the Nasdaq, and this is what I was kind of waiting to make this video for, to see how we opened. Now on the week, you can see already things are looking pretty positive. As we get a better look and zoom in here, I do want to point out that we are holding this weekly range where we opened up. We've already had a retest at this spot where it's very important. We get a push, a retest, and now we're gonna start trending back to the upside, I do believe. But we won't know for sure until market open tomorrow. What we do also know is this is the OBV, and the on balance volume does indicate that we are flagging to make another leg back up to the upside. Now, what's very important to know is that this week is earnings season, and I've been talking quite a bit about it. This has been a very hot topic on the channel because earnings season brings in great volatility to the market, and this is prime for options trading. Now you need to be very careful. So that's why I say do your own DD, because you are responsible for your own trades. So let's get into the top 3 picks for Monday morning. Okay, so the first chart is going to be Apple, and as we look here, you're going to notice there's a few charts that look very similar. Facebook is going to be one that we're going to look at here in a second as well, so bear with me. So one thing I want to point off the bat, this is the daily time frame. A higher time frame is more respectable, just so you know. We are getting somewhat of a flag here, and we're actually breaking out now to retest this 136 range, which we did retest 135, but I believe we're going to start breaking out of this and potentially pushing to 138.5 range going into tomorrow. These local highs here, which I don't think that that's far-fetched. I believe volatility and volume is going to start flowing into these key stocks that have earnings, which they have earnings on the 28th, just so you know. I always plan to sell pre-earnings and not hold through earnings because it's very risky holding through. Another thing I want to point out as well, as the OBV, you're getting a very nice flag, and we want to get a lot of volume. And if that breaks out of this channel right here, I can guarantee if we break out of this channel to the upside, this stock will absolutely start moving, maybe even to 140. We don't really know until we get there, but typically when we get these big breakouts, we get very nice upside. This is a great example right here. We had a small break out of this range, and we had about a $4 move on the stock, which is almost 4% on the stock. So it's worth taking into account when we get these big volume breaks. It leads to massive movement, and that's why I like Apple going into Monday. Stock number 2 is going to be Facebook. Just mentioned them a second ago, and there's a few things I want to talk about here because they have had a long time coming. Now, there was some bearish news in the past few days about Apple looking to do a lot of their advertisements on their own platform. So that is relatively bad news, but going to earnings, I still see upside on the chart. So this is what I want to point out. We have this double topping going on here, potentially triple topping, and now we broke back above, came up, and now we are wedging back to the downside. You're also seeing the OBV bottoming out here, so this could get pretty interesting in the next 2 to 3 days. So let me break it down into the lower time frame as well, so you can get a quick and better look as well. So let's double click and get in here, zoom in. We'll delete this as well. One sec. So as we're looking, you can see we're breaking out of this downward wedge, and we're getting back above VWAP, indicating it does look very strong. Now, getting in that 296, 298 range was potentially the best time to get in, but it's reacting very strongly from these levels nonetheless, and it looks like it could easily get a push tomorrow up to 305.5 and maybe even break out higher going into Tuesday, because we just don't know how much volume is going to be flowing into these. Now, I like to keep my targets pretty conservative, and if you get that nice volatile $2 to $3 push quick enough, you can make 20 to 40% almost instantaneously when it comes to options. Now, if you think I'm just hyping it up or just lying, saying nonsense, going into this from now on, I will start posting some profits occasionally as well, just so you guys can see. It's not to be conceited, it's just to show that options do in fact work, but I recommend you understand them before you start jumping headfirst into options. Also, ask below, because there's Discord members that can verify everything that I'm saying, and they know that I'm not just making stuff up. So I recommend asking down below in the comment section. So Facebook looks very strong. I would be targeting 305.5, maybe even a little bit higher to this range here, 307, maybe even the high 307s, just seeing how we start moving. But again, once you start getting that volatility and that quick movement, if you're in options, that's always a key sign for me to start taking some profits. And last but not least, it's going to be Nike. Just do it. Now, this is going to be the most heartbreaking trade to even announce. This is more of a swing trade, not even a day trade. but you could start getting that volatility almost instantaneously. Now we had this massive drop off, and this is on the news of the Kobe Bryant Foundation or team not signing back up with Nike. They saw a very massive plummet. But on the upside, they had very big news from Zion Williamson announcing his new brand deal with them, with Jordan Brand, which is still Nike. So it's still very important to know that they have a lot of good news on the horizon as well, and earnings are coming up just as well, but there's not as near in the future as Facebook and Apple. So this is maybe a less risky play when it comes to that inherent risk that comes with earnings. So what I like to see here is, one, we saw that massive dip down, and I ended up selling around 129, taking the loss just because I was over leveraged here. So I'm very transparent. I had Nike, I ended up popping out, but now I'm looking to get back in as we start breaking back up. When we had the risk of what Joe Biden was saying, I had to manage my risk. And no, I made a lot of money going into April, so I wasn't going to just risk extensive amount of money. I was going to, maintain what I had and maintain the money that I had made. So you know what they say, scared money doesn't make money. So we're looking to get back in here, but I want to make sure we get a clean break above this 130 range, which it looks like we're getting right now. So we want to see how we open up the week. You can see that we're still consistently making this upward trend, looking like we want to break out of this range, and this is not a bear flag by any means. And then as we come down and look at the OBV, you can see we're getting a nice strong upward trend as well, and we are breaking out of this level of the trend as well, that you can see this downward motion we were making. We finally broke, retested, and now pushing back up. All in all, Nike's looking very strong. I like what they're doing, and they tend to perform very well when it comes to this earnings season as well, where I'll be looking to take some profits in the short near term if you're getting some longer dated calls. One, I would love to see a 135 test up into this range, 135, 134.9, give or take up there. And then if you're really looking to be conservative taking profits and you want to start skimming some off the top, I would look just to fill that gap at 132. I think the 132 is going to come very quick. So depending how much it moves and how quickly it moves, that would kind of depend on how quick I start to take profits there. But that's something I really like to see right now. Now this is going to be a spitball I'm going to throw out there. I have a lot of DraftKings, and I believe a lot of people on the Discord have a lot of DraftKings. They have earnings coming up as well, but Kathy Wood has been loading up on these guys. And I like when Kathy Wood starts to buy stocks and when they're really still maintaining on the downside. She did it with Open Door, and Open Door absolutely blew the lid off. So I really like DraftKings. I think a retest of 62, 62.5 is in the works. Don't be greedy. This would be fourth on the list because we did have pretty decent entries on Friday. So I don't know if you're going to get that entry opportunity coming into Monday morning. Have a good one, traders. That's going to wrap up the list. Make sure you tune in every single night, maybe sometimes in the morning, but I'll have a daily watch list every single day, Monday through Friday, going over my best and top option picks of the day. And you know what? Do some backtracking, but I recommend when you're jumping into these, don't just jump in blindly. Do your own DD. This is not financial advice. Make sure the market's moving in that direction as well. Today, there's no puts just because I believe, earnings season is going to be absolutely beautiful. Tomorrow, there might be puts. Let's see what happens. Have a good one, traders. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Namaste.